Happy Thursday, everyone. I couldn't see my phone. It is 84 degrees. It's actually cooler. It rained earlier, and look at this. It's clear now. It is clear as a bell. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know with this weather. It's more emotional than I am. Lately, anyway. But I'm glad that it did rain. We needed it to cool off because yesterday was so hot. And I'm sure the little birdies and the squirrels enjoyed it, right? I would if I was a bird or a squirrel. Among other animals that are outside, like your cows. There goes my air freshener. Like your cows and your cats and your dogs. Hopefully nobody's leaving their cats or dogs outside in this weather. You know, I would hope not, but then you have your stupid people that do. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. I was listening to some music earlier. Man, you know, there's just some music that just really heals your soul. There really is. And I love the music that I listen to. That EDM, electro, you know, I love it. It takes me away somewhere else, and there are times where I'm actually dancing to it, and then I get tired. And so I'll just listen to it, you know, and it just takes me away. And I usually do it after I exercise and I get in the shower, then I'll turn it up. And my phone sounds pretty loud in the bathroom. And I'm just like, I hope the neighbors don't hear it. And then I'm like, screw it. You know, I have to hear them all the time banging on the wall. They can hear some music for a little while, you know, while I'm in the shower. And it's nice music. It's nothing like, hey girl, back that ass up. Hey girl, let me slap that ass up. You know, it's nothing gross like that. I don't even know. I understand some people like to listen to that kind of music, but it's never spoken to me. You know, I hear it, and some beats are okay. You know, it's definitely danceable if you're at a club, you know, trying to get picked up, you know, for some smashing or whatever they call it nowadays. But that's not what the music is about that I listen to, you know. The music I listen to, I let it just take me away. If I were with the husband, I'm sure it would get me in the mood, but the husband's never home, so oh well. And I just let it clear my head, and it kind of encourages me to want to like go back to the park, Moon. Go to the park again. I used to listen to this music while I would do laps around the park, and don't think, oh, Moon is a runner, she runs 4 laps. No. I would walk and then jog, and then walk and then jog, and I would do it like 4 or 5 times around the park. I will be really shocked if I could still do that, because I haven't done it in almost 2 years now. And here's the thing, it would help me out so much to not just clear my head, but to get me back on track and being healthy again. But I don't do it. Because like a lot of you out there, I go through my emotional states, and it's hard for me to get out of bed. It's hard for me to face the day. And I know I have to, you know, but it's hard. It's really hard. And all this week was a struggle. I don't know why. I was so happy on Sunday. I mean, my friend from church gave me a gift for my birthday. It was a journal. I love journals. If I could have everybody give me a journal, I would love it. I wouldn't know what to do with myself. I would love it so much. Because I love to write. That has always been my passion. I love love to write. So I would fill up a whole bunch of journals. Trust me, I would. And after that, my neighbor invited me to go see her home. It was a very lovely home. And I made something special for dinner. I took her some also. And I got to talk about The Walking Dead. This Sunday will be the last Walking Dead for a bit until maybe my son signs up for something else, or I can figure out how to do it like after church or something, go to the park and talk there for a little bit, which might even be better because that way it won't be a whole hour long. I try not to make it an hour long, but there's just so much that I want to say, But anyway, I'm going to end with the ladies that were leading. And it was very interesting for me. I found out a lot more about them too. But anyhow, then Monday came along and I was depressed. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so down? Like, I just felt like crying the whole day, And then all these brain farts, all these thoughts started to come in from my past, and I started to be angry at my mom, at the husband. Like a lot of you, I've been through a lot, and it's, man, to say that you can just dust yourself off and keep going is an understatement with me now, because it's hard. It's been hard. It's possible to do for a while, but then all of a sudden you're just like, what the fuck? Like, did that really just happen? Did that happen last week? Did that really happen like 5 years ago? Like, what the hell was wrong with me? And this is not even where I wanted this to go. I actually wanted to talk about something not so funny, but a complaint. I wanted a complaint, but anyhow, I will get to that in a bit. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, I'll do that for 10 minutes and then I'll end my video. But yeah, I just felt like I needed to get this off my chest, because I know that right now a lot of people are going through this, and some of them don't even talk about it. I can see that they kind of like hide it. They hide it, and I'm just like, don't hide it. Talk about it with someone, to get some professional help if you need to, and talk to them. I know I complain about my cancer a lot. Yeah, I do. But it does help for a little bit. Another thing I can recommend, and it's going to sound crazy, but I even told my counselor about this, and she said there was nothing wrong with it, is just sit in the room by yourself, focus on something, whether it be a picture, some flowers, something that brings you peace. Nothing that's going to make you triggered, but something that'll bring you peace. And sometimes it might be just a blank wall. And I've done that many times, where I'll just stare at a blank wall and just start talking about everything that's on your mind. And I told her, you know why I do that? Because sometimes I feel like that's how I feel when I talk to the husband. Like I'm talking to the wall, Or if I'm talking to one of my kids. Like nobody seems to get it. Like, do you all not hear me like screaming inside, needing help? And you all are just standing there like, oh, okay. So you're having a bad day, And I'm like, and so I just decided to talk to the wall. And it actually makes me feel better, because once I stop talking and I'm still and in silence, that's when I can feel Holy Spirit talk to me. Now, if you're not a person of faith, well, then whatever it is that you look up to, just try that. And I don't know about other faiths. I'm sorry. I've only known God as my Father. I've only known Jesus as my Lord and Savior. You know, once I got saved. I don't know what it's like to be atheist. I have no idea what it's like to be I don't know. I don't know what other religions are. Like, I don't know. Like, they all involve God. However, the worshiping is different. Allah, there's another one. And there's Buddha also. But I understand that some of you all with these religions, you know, I was Catholic for the longest time. And you're never encouraged to talk to God as a Catholic. You're always encouraged to go to the priest. And then the priest will talk to God for you. Which is why I'm no longer Catholic, because I don't believe in that. I never was in agreement with that. But if that's what helps you get it off your chest to talk to the priest, then do it. You know? It's better than talking to the wall, I guess. But you know, just get it off your chest is what my point is. And it'll make you feel better. Journaling, since I was talking about journaling, that also helps. And something that I started doing, I don't know if I mentioned it in another video or not, or if I just mentioned it to my friend from church. But before, when I used to journal, I used to write down all the negative stuff. Like, today I'm so mad about this. I can't believe this person did this to me. I can't believe they said this to me. And I just feel so mad. And I wish I could get them back. And, you know, and then I would start crying before I would go to bed. And I wouldn't get a good night's rest because of it. And I'm like, man, if anybody ever finds those journals, they're going to be like, man, she was miserable. She was miserable. And even though that's partly true, you know, I finally, like, after my conversations with the wall and God, I finally just said, you know what? And I got this revelation at church like 2 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? All these good things are happening to all these people. And I've noticed that they all have something in common. And that's that they always praise God no matter what. Yes, they may get upset with God, but I don't know just exactly the extent to how upset they get if it's like me. But, okay, I just wanted to check to see if it's still recording or not. But they all know that God is with them, going through everything with them. God was always with them. And that reminded me that God is always with me. And that's what helped me decide. Oh, it was Pastor, I believe. He was talking about Joseph. And that's one of my favorite stories in the Bible because it's so relatable to me. You know, how I got sold out from my mother's house. You know, and they kept it. Now I'm still waiting for my Joseph moment, you know, but that's okay. It's coming. But you all know what I mean. If you know about Joseph, you all know what I mean about my Joseph moment, you know. But, you know, that's when I decided, okay, God, you know, instead of starting this fresh journal that I just got, and instead of writing all my complaints about the hurts that I have in my life and how I feel so betrayed by certain people in my life, including you, Lord, instead I'm going to thank you for what I do have and what you're doing in my life. And thank you for your word that I receive. every day. And every day you help me get through this. And you haven't forgotten me. And even though at times I get jealous because I see somebody else succeed, I see somebody else get a home, and I could picture myself in that home, and I knew what I would do. The first thing I would do if I were there, is start a garden in the back and stuff. But instead of looking at as jealousy, I'm thankful that you blessed them with this. And I'm thankful that you haven't forgotten about me, and my day is just around the corner. And that is what I'm going to continue to repeat to myself. Because believe you me, yesterday I was going through a moment again, and I was just thinking wait a minute, how can I stop being jealous over somebody else's success? Because I'm not successful the way I wanted to be, because I had to make other decisions. It's not that I had to make other decisions. So I don't want to be jealous for people. I want to be genuinely happy for them. I want to be genuinely happy that they're getting blessed by the same God that I worship. And so that's what made me decide, okay, thank you, God, that I'm not forgotten. My reward, it's just around the corner. And for some reason, I haven't gotten it yet. You're still doing the work in me, and that's okay. Because sometimes God can't give us everything. We won't be able to handle it, or we'll misuse it. He knows what we'll misuse in our life. So he kind of holds back a little bit, kind of tests us out, let me see, is my child really ready for this? It's kind of like you buying a vehicle for your child when they learn how to drive. You ask yourself as a parent, is my son or daughter truly ready to drive this vehicle on their own already? I know they just got their license. I want to get them with this vehicle so they can become more independent, and they can start driving themselves to work, start making their own car payments, their own insurance payments, and start little by little, kind of getting them out of the nest, But that's the way God is with us too, with our blessings. He asks, is my child really ready? Because last time that I blessed them with something, they kind of messed that up, and I just didn't like what they did there. So are they really ready this time for this bigger blessing? Let me just wait for a little bit longer. Let me test them out. Let me see how they do, and then I'll give it to them, So I'm just really grateful, that I'm learning as I go. And I've been saved for about 25 years now. 25 years. And it's still a learning process. You just don't stop learning. You will never stop learning until the day that he comes for you. And that's just it. It's something you have to realize. And it's a good thing, though, because I love to learn. I love learning new things. I love trying new things. I wish I could do more things, but I just love where he's taking me. Okay, now let's get to the complaint that I wanted to talk about. So I was watching a video by this YouTuber where she does reactions, right? And again, it was about tipping. People taking tipping to the extreme on how you could go, let's see, what's one example? A coffee. You go to Starbucks. They make you a coffee. And then they're always like, it's going to ask you some questions down there, you know, and it's always like, if you want a tip, you know, and then it gives you the amounts that you would like to tip. And so you feel compelled, like, but I just came to the drive-thru, you know, why do I have to tip you? And you're just like, fine. So then you feel bad if you just press $1, you know, because they kind of like look at it and it's like, $1? That's how you're going to tip me, is $1, $1 freaking dollar that can't even get me a coffee here, you know, and I work here, you know. And so you're like, okay, like maybe $2, $3, is that okay? Is that better, you know? Well, it's a start, you know. And so you give them the $3 and you end up paying like $15 for your coffee, you know. And anyhow, then there was a lady there. Well, first of all, it was all about these tips, right? And how ridiculous it's gotten. And yes, I agree, but I also disagree. And you know why? Because there's this lady that she said, and this is why I'm partial to Subway. She had gone to a Subway. She walked in, they made her sandwich, and apparently this Subway doesn't do it. I don't know what Subway she walked into, and you know what? Allegedly it's a Subway because she didn't name it. But, she went to go pay, right? And the person that made her sandwich, that was charging her, told her, you're not going to tip me? Now, this Subway does not do that. They do not ask their customers for tips. Some customers do tip. I think that's a really nice thing to do, to tip, you know. But they don't ask. Wherever she got her sandwich, apparently she was asked, and she was offended as a customer. One of the things she said as she was telling her story is, and I don't mind tipping everywhere I go. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute, ma'am. If you don't mind tipping, then what's the big deal tipping somebody for making your sandwich? Because her thing was, it's like, you just made my sandwich, why should I tip you? Ma'am, when you go to a restaurant, they make your food. Do you not tip there either? Do you tell the server, well, why should I tip? You didn't make my food, the cook did. The cook's not asking me for the tip. Why should I tip you for bringing my food to the table? You know? And I'm like, no, like, it's the same thing. If somebody makes your food in front of you, you know, tip them. You know, I know, like, Chipotle doesn't ask. Chipotle doesn't ask for a tip. I don't think they do. Or do they at the register? Do they say they have a question to ask you at the register? I don't know. Okay, my phone lit up, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? But that was her justification for not tipping. And so, like I said, I agree, and then I disagree, because I'm like, yeah, some places have gotten so out of hand with that they're making it more of an entitlement now, and it's not coming from the customer's heart. I feel like it should come from your heart. If you want to tip, it should come from your heart. And if they allow that rather than forcing the customer to tip, then maybe more people would do it, and they would do it with a cheerful heart. You know, kind of like we give with tithes. Nobody complains about tithes. We know we give with a cheerful heart, right? So, you know, why don't we tip? Why do we feel offended about tipping? But, you know, maybe it's not even that we get offended about tipping. It's the entitlement of the person asking. You know, it's the entitlement of these businesses, you know, having the audacity to ask for a tip. You know, like, instead of it coming from you, maybe that can make more sense. But yeah, tip. Just leave a tip. And anyhow, but the way the video was going, the creator was kind of like disgusted herself with the fact that these businesses are asking for tips. And I was kind of like a little shocked because she used to run a couple of businesses according to her, okay? And she still has a family business. Now, this was not directed towards her in my comment to her or in her comment section, but I did mention that why aren't we complaining about YouTube? And you know what? This is why I brought that up, because one of the people that were talking that she showed a video of, they mentioned about back in 2020 when C-19 hit and how things changed, how there were more businesses asking for tips. Like that was an excuse. You know, let me start asking for tips. And it's a funny thing that she brought that up because that's how I feel about YouTube, because YouTube changed a lot back in 2020 as well. A lot of people were out of work. A lot of people started channels. Hang on, you all. A lot of people started channels. And then suddenly it became to, oh, here, yeah, you want to become a member of my channel? It's going to cost $1.99. But if you really want the special membership, you can pay $2.99. And if you really, really want to know everything, it's $5.99. And I'm like, what? What? You know, and a lot of people started doing this. And then they took it a step further. Oh, well, now I have a Patreon. And over there we can have more serious discussions about my business. And I can start teaching you how to run a business. And I can teach you how to do your own YouTube channel. And yeah, it's only $10.99 a month. Excuse me. You know, and then you will have others that not only have memberships and Patreons, but they have Patreons with special tiers. Yeah. In the first tier, you don't get the cursey words. In the second tier, you get cursey words and you get some information. But in the third tier, I will tell you all. What? You know, and that's what I was saying in her comment section. Why isn't anybody complaining about that? And I told this creator, this is not towards you now, but I'm referring to other YouTubers that take advantage of their viewers by doing all this. And I'm not talking about YouTubers that bring something to your viewers. Some of you do really good commentary. Some of you do really good true crime. Others of you do really good reactions. You know, there's some of you that really do have really good channels that I follow that I don't mind giving to, because you're bringing something back to me. You're giving me information and you're entertaining me as well. Because some of you are really funny. Some of you are really out there and you're funny. However, I am not going to pay a YouTuber extra money just to find out what kind of coffee they're drinking or how they make it. And I'm not going to pay extra money to find out where you got your earrings either. You know, stupid stuff like that. I am not going to do that. You know, but some of you, I will say, some of you that I do follow, not all of you, because all of you don't do that, but some of you really do ask for a pretty penny just to get some kind of information from you. Like, as far as how to start a channel, I can tell you for free right now. Just sign up. Just start a channel. Sign up for your YouTube and just start talking. That's it. That's all it takes. You don't need me to pay me $5.99 a month or $15.99 a month to give you this information. You know? Sometimes you just gotta go for it. But anyway, yeah, but nobody has answered me. Nobody has replied to me. I don't even know if my comment is still there. I'm thinking if I go check the comment section, maybe the creator removed it because she's probably like, oh crap, this girl's gonna start issues over here. No, I'm not trying to start issues. It's actually an honest question. I really want to know, what about that? You know, you're complaining about people asking for tips. I feel like some of you YouTubers are asking for tips. And for what? You know, what are you doing? What are you giving me? What are you bringing to my table? You know? Did you just make my coffee? You know, you didn't even make me a sandwich and you want tips. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm asking. You know, if anybody out there can answer that for me, great. Am I just being like crazy here asking that question? Have y'all ever wondered about that? Let me know. With that said, thank you for listening. I'm going to end it already because I feel like I'm putting my foot in my mouth, but I'm not going to take it off, you know? I love you all. I'm laughing because y'all are probably wanting to wring my neck. Talk to y'all again soon. Bye.